Hello, my friends. It's David Ayer trying to speak loud enough for you to hear me, because when I listen to these videos, it's never loud enough. But when I speak loudly, then it's I can't say sensitive things. See, as soon as I say sensitive things, what happens? My voice drops, and then okay. So you want to hear a story? I don't have any stories. Really, nothing is happening. Nothing. A few things. I went shopping. I came back. The police said, "What are you doing?" I said I went shopping. He's like, "Okay, fine." He was nice enough. He was a little businesslike. It's like, "Where are you going? Where have you been?" And then food is a little desperate if you're not into pizza. Fortunately, I really am into pizza. It's not always equally thrilling. In one of the other videos, I had a terrible pizza, but the pizzas recently have been better. So things are going okay in the food department. Not a lot of variety. There is one restaurant that had salads, but lately I have not come across that restaurant again. I've only got two websites for online ordering, and a total of about, I don't know, 6 or 7 restaurants. Can't find the one with the salad. Anyway. Don't you hate it when someone tells you, like, goes into great detail about their dream, and you're like, I'm sure this is really interesting for you, but it wasn't my dream, so it's not that interesting for me? I hate that too. So anyway, the other night, I don't think it was a dream, actually. I don't know what it was. One of the most interesting 30 seconds of my life, really. So I don't know if I was in a dream, coming out of a dream, going into one. I don't know what the heck it was, but I was laying in my bed, and it felt as though my legs were like lifting up and kind of moving up, and the image that came to me was like it was going up like a roller coaster somehow, like I'm sliding up. And I've never had this sensations before, this feeling that I had, which I can't really explain other than to say how strange it was. It was like this, like I was being elevated and lifting up. And what was really strange about it was that as it happened, I was saying and feeling like, oh my God, this is it. And I was really like nervous, excited, like, whoa, this is it. And you know, now I think, this is what? I don't know what it I was referring to. Oh, you know, I can't make sense of it. But the fact that that I'd never had similar sensations in my body. Didn't feel like any other dream. In a dream, I don't normally have sensations. I don't feel embodied. I don't have bodily sensations. I mostly have emotions, either excitement or fear or something. But in this one, there was something weird happening. So anyway, that aspect of it was interesting. So I mentioned it to a few friends of mine just because it was interesting the other day. And when one friend said, I know exactly what that was. I was like, you do? How could you know exactly what that was? She says, because I've had it happen many times to me. It's astral projection. At which point I wanted to just turn off the recorder because that's not really my thing. And she said she's had many times that experience, and she says, when you mention the roller coaster, there's this woman who's written books about it, and she uses that analogy as a way to describe what happens. She says many times when it first happens, you kind of freak out and you drop out of the experience, or you come out and you come to and wake up or whatever. She said, but it's not really a dream, it's something else. And there are Tibetans who advocate doing these kind of practices and cultivating these kind of practices so that you can actually do kind of meditation, spiritual work when you're in that state. Who knew? So, yeah, that was my question for her was, is it just an experience? Meaning, yeah, it's cool, but so what if it's cool? Is it something come from it? Is something meaningful come from it? And that's when she told me about the Tibetan, so that makes me a little bit interested, but I'm not sure it'll ever happen again. I did have some, really 10 seconds of another time of my life that's never been repeated. And that is when I was in a silent meditation retreat back in 1996. There was one point, it was a Goenka retreat, and they talk about this kind of Vipassana meditation, following your breath, and then placing your attention on different parts of your body and moving down different parts of your body and feeling the crown chakra, they call it, this point at the top of your head. And at some point he said, feel this something. He said a sentence, and all of a sudden it felt like, boom, somebody turned on the light switch, and my body just went electric, like somebody had stuck my toe into a light socket. Every cell on my body just went zzz, like, and I was like, what? And it stopped. And that was the whole thing. But it was so crazy, and so like a little like this non-dream I had the other night. I've never had an experience like it before, so I haven't had many. I'm not into these. What do you call them? Mystical experiences or whatever. They're not a big part of my. I don't put much emphasis on them. There are some people who put a lot of emphasis on them, and when they happen, they're like, "Oh my God, this is so meaningful. Finally, I'm getting somewhere," and they want to tell everybody about it. I tend to be quite dismissive of them. Like, even if you could levitate, then what? So suppose I could levitate. Would that make you happier? Would you then be satisfied and calm and content in every moment? Would you be content to die? Would you be more loving to your kids? Or would you just be an arrogant levitator? I don't know. So that's the end of my story. I tried to make it short. It didn't happen. Okay. Ciao.